Oh yes, I think my wait is finally over. If you're such a big fan of Harry Potter as I am, and you're watching it every winter, every Christmas time, well guys, here is the game for you. The one thing I have to mention, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Anyway, it was a good pause, but let me tell you about our today's game, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. So, you may have seen that this game was actually released some time ago in the early access, and now it is as a final release. So the magical universe of Harry Potter is actually filled with countable memorable moments. I've actually seen the last year release of one of the Harry Potter games that was actually really great. But today I want to tell you about the new game called Quidditch Champions. So this is more like a sports simulator in the Harry Potter, obviously, kind of like theme. So as its core, Quidditch is a kind of like a game. It's a Quidditch Champions. It retains the similarities to traditional sports, maybe like a football, or if you're from US, soccer, or whatever, which roles on the field are very distinctive. So it's very crucial for every game to have a different outcome because you have different roles. Each Quidditch team consists of chasers, beaters, seekers, and a keeper. And each of these roles plays a specific part in a helping team to scare a point. I think at this point a lot of you actually understand what I'm talking about, but let me explain it for everyone who's not sure. So the chasers are premier scorers, aiming to get the quaffle through the opposing team hopes. Beaters can handle the blotchers, attempting to distract their opponents and create scoring opportunities for their team. The keeper's job is to guard goalposts, fending off the attacks from the opposing chasers, while the seeker's role is actually to track down and capture the golden snitch. Essentially, it means that basically this is a game changer thing, which delivers a massive point boost. As soon as you start the game, Ginny Weasley, famous for being a Harry Potter's love, oh, if you didn't know that, guides you through the basics of the game. Players can create their custom Quidditch team with a character creation screen where they assign roles of each character in the roster. While the idea of personalizing your own Quidditch squad really sounds exciting, for the hardcore Harry Potter fans, the customization options are limited. The lack of variety in character models means that you often encounter kind of like same players online who just look like your character. Through the comics, items can be unlocked as you play, getting access to the different requires of the significant investment in gameplay hours before you see such reward, which is in my opinion quite good because the game doesn't become bored. You actually want to kind of like go for it and earn some of the awards or some of the customization personalization things that you wish to have. The game's tutorials, which features familiar characters like Harry Potter, introduces players to each role and help them to get a free of controls. As the chaser, you'll be focused on zipping across the field and rather the skying of a quaffle. And all of it is actually very easy. Like many other sports games, Quidditch gameplay is actually really very good. And I would say this is the place where the game shines the most. So for example, the flying mechanics are really one of the best things in the game, delivering smooth and accelerating movements that makes you feel like you're really soaring through the air on a broomstick. However, some of the balancing issues arise and can affect the experience, especially in online matches. The beater role, for instance, can feel overpowered in some, especially if you have a player who actually understands how to play the game. Despite the march downs and the cooldowns on the project attacks, dodging a bulger sometimes feels very unresponsible, I think, and inconsistent. In this experience, I would say passing the dodge button and the correct time didn't always came as the hit for me. The one thing I have to say, in general, it overall feels very well. The single player tournaments offer some fun to the Harry Potter lore, but for the most, I would say the multiplayer experience is where it shines. Online matchmaking works really very well without any major issues during the testing, but the noticeable things are coming from the team sizes. So for example, Quidditch Champions matches are 3v3, a deviation from the typical 6v6 format. Each player starts as the chaser, but can switch roles mid-game, using a D-pad to shift into the beater, seeker, or a keeper position. While switching on the fly, some of it has an interesting dynamic. It can feel like a bit of disorienting for the players who might prefer a traditional team setup. Hopefully, I would say one thing, that the 6v6 mod will be added in the future, so we can have a little bit of different options. Despite some of the limitations that Quidditch Champions offers, I still feel like this is a very entertaining and immersive experience in the Harry Potter world, And for the fans of the genre and the fans of the Harry Potter or all of the sports games where they want something fun, I think this is actually a great game. The flying controls, like I said, are very smooth, and the play feels very fast paced and rewarding, especially when you find yourselves pulling on a perfectly timed maneuver to score a goal or interference of the opponent. However, the game does sue from time to time of the balancing issues, like I said. Ultimately, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions is something that is maybe, like I say in most of the reviews, is not revolutionizing the genre, but it's a very fun game. And I wish we had more games for Harry Potter because we remember in the movies there was a lot of fun kind of like events, and especially a lot of things that we haven't seen in a Hogwarts Legacy last year. I would actually say it would be really great if this was the DLC for the Hogwarts Legacy, but in the end of the day, it's a fun experience. So, if you played already Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, what is your experience with the game? If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And like I say in every video, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!